Okay, mate, we're in search of the Harley and elusive Bigfoot that was found on January 6th at the Capitol. Now, before I even get into this video, I got something I got to drop on y'all. So, I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick and tired of the YouTube censorship and people complaining that they don't get notifications and things of that nature. So, I got a solution, y'all, but I need y'all to help out. All right, I ain't gonna be harassing y'all doing all that crazy stuff, but I went ahead and paid for a service that might solve some of those problems. All you have to do is text JOIN to 1-877-931-2396. That is the number. You got to put the one in, 1-877-931-2396, and then type in JOIN. And when you do that, it'll confirm that you are now part of Kevin's Corner. And whenever I drop a video or a live stream, all I gotta do is send out the text and y'all will get it. You won't have no more excuses for Kev, I missed the show or I missed the video. I didn't even know you were still doing videos. Do that for me right now. Let me know you did it in the comments below. Thank you so much. Let's keep the party going.
Welcome to my party. We're just getting
US dollar has lost 75% of its value since the 70s when the dollar decoupled from gold, and the government seemed bent on continuing the tradition. From now until after the next election, the government can print as much money as they want. And the last time they did that, inflation went up 9%. Gold is the one asset that have proven to withstand inflation. Now, there's always a risk of investments and there's no guarantee of any kind. However, if you invest with Noble Gold, you'll also get a 24 karat, 1/4 ounce gold standard coin for free. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com right now. And even though there's always a risk of investments and there's no guarantee, if I had to bet, I would bet on Noble Gold. So once again, go to noblegoldinvestments.com, the only gold investment company that I trust. Now, let's get to this video. Another sighting.
Get back tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
I don't even like to say it. I'm going to be arrested. Well, let's not say it. We need to go. I'll say it.
I'll say it.
We need to go in to the Capitol. Let's go! So I'm going to put it out there. I'm probably going to go to jail for it. Tomorrow. We need to go into the Capitol. Into the Capitol.
But first,
Oh, see that Bigfoot out there on full display, y'all? That everybody's been looking for, I guess, and just can't find him, even though he's the biggest dude out there. But tomorrow, we gotta go in. I'll say it. I might go to jail for it, but I'll say it. So guess what, y'all? It looks like the DOJ or the FBI or somebody finally decided to catch up with that Bigfoot. And the Bigfoot is supposed to be getting indicted and charged. But why now? Let's get into this. So, to understand the wily and elusive Bigfoot that has been eluding authorities for over 2 years while everybody else is captured, we got to kind of go back just a little bit to understand how significant this capture is, y'all. So let's go ahead and see how the Bigfoot got to where he's at.
And it comes back to Ray Epps. A lot of questions about Ray Epps. He hasn't really been available for many people to talk to. One group of individuals who would love to sit down with him are the Proud Boys and their defense attorneys who've been trying to subpoena him so that he can come in and testify in one of the most important trials in America taking place right now. But he didn't respond to a subpoena. The judge would not allow the Proud Boys to serve him by publication. And so Ray Epps is still a wanted man, wanted by the Proud Boys. But they have not been able to get him. But somebody is able to sit down with him, and that looks like it is 60 Minutes.
Wait a minute. Hold on. See, now this goes back because, remember, the Bigfoot has been on the loose for about 2 years. The Proud Boys have been captured by the FBI and the DOJ, and all of them are being charged. So I guess they were trying to subpoena the Bigfoot in to answer some questions, but he wasn't able to be found, and the judges wouldn't even allow the Bigfoot to be subpoenaed. Why would they do that? Why don't they want that big old foot in there to testify? However, 60 Minutes was able to capture the Bigfoot and allow him to get on there and vomit up some excuses of why he's still running around on the loose.
In fact, they're sitting down with him on Sunday. Here is what they posted over on Twitter. They said the following: in conservative media, Ray Epps is a notorious villain. I don't know about conservative media. I mean, I guess if that's what you want to call it. I think it's reality media, people who have seen the footage, which we'll get to. They call Ray Epps a notorious villain, responsible for turning the protests on January 6th into a riot.
So wait a minute. Now all of a sudden, according to 60 Minutes, it's no longer an insurrection. It's a protest when you want to refer to the Bigfoot. Now, why would you want to downplay that term, that loaded term that y'all been using for all of these years, talking about it was an insurrection. But then when it comes down to Ray Epps and his involvement, it was simply a protest. So you you have to pay attention to all the key words that they include, admit, or change. They're trying to soften the blow, and they're trying to protect this guy. So why would they say he's a notorious villain amongst conservative media? Shouldn't he be a notorious villain amongst liberal media? Because everybody else is. All the other folks that showed up there, some that didn't even go into the Capitol, some that was welcomed into the Capitol and escorted around the Capitol by the police, some that didn't even know how they got in the Capitol because the doors were just open. They like, I guess we should go on in. Those people have been labeled as notorious. They've been labeled as insurrectionists, domestic terrorists, extremists, all of them. But Ray Epps, all of a sudden, they're defending him. He's only demonized amongst conservative media, not liberal media. Just all the other ones are. So why aren't y'all deeming him to be an insurrectionist? Why does he get the protester title and everybody else get the insurrection title? That's the question 60 Minutes should be answering. So let's move on. Learn a little more about that Bigfoot.
The Ray Epps whisper. For a long time, we've been wondering, what did he say? And there is some shouting. Cops are there. We see Ryan Samsel with the red hat on, and things are about to get a little bit heated. We fast forward. The cop here apparently pushes the bike rack. Samsel now is going to take off his jacket, as we see here, and he's still standing there, flips his hat around. Hey, he's getting aggressive, and Ray Epps walks right in and whispers in the ear. Oh, there it is. Then things get a little bit more aggressive, and that's where the breach occurs.
You gotta go into the Capitol. That's probably what he said. But let's see what he said, and then we're going to see what the young man who's still in prison said that Ray Epps said to him.
Now, what Epps, the still uncharged agitator, who first became the subject of public scrutiny, said to Samsel in that iconic exchange has been the subject of speculation for more than 2 years. The New York Times reported that Epps told the FBI tip line that he attempted to de-escalate the situation between Samsel and the police. Epps gave the same story to the select committee. Okay, you know, that's not why we're here, is what Epps told the committee about his interaction. He said, you've got to be peaceful. I pulled him back and told him, it's not what we're about. He tells everybody, I was just saying be peaceful. Samsel's initial FBI interview, according to the Times reporter, Alan Feuer, provided a similar account. He said Samsel said the same thing, telling investigators that a man he did not know came up to him and suggested he relax, according to a recording obtained by the New York Times.
Now, see, what I don't understand is why the young man with the red hat been in prison all this time, Samsel, and yet the Bigfoot's been running loose. I mean, so the Bigfoot comes out of nowhere. He's towering over everybody. He's 2 days straight standing outside saying, he whispers in the young man's ear, and the young man ends up going berserk. And yet the young man's in the slammer, and the Bigfoot's still running around doing interviews on 60 Minutes. So let's find out what the young man said Ray Epps said to him.
He came up to me and said, dude, his entire words were, relax, the cops are doing their job. But the story has changed a little bit. Samsel apparently told the New York Times that Epps said, relax, the cops are just doing their job. The story has changed. But in a phone conversation with Julie Kelly and American Greatness last week, Samsel disputed Epps's testimony and contradicted what he reportedly told the FBI a few weeks after the Capitol protest. So the real question is, what did Epps say to Samsel?
Tell us.
Epps said to me, don't pull. I've got people. We have to push through. That's a quote obtained by Julie Kelly from American Greatness.
Don't pull. We got to push forward. I got people. What does that mean? What, he got people on the inside that was going to act like they were trying to stop everybody from going past that bike rack, and then just fails just gently back like this. And I'll shoot, we're down. We're being overran. Let's look at the script, see where our next position is. All right, go to south end of Capitol and yell, we have been breached. Okay, y'all ready? Go. Action. You mean, like what? What people are you talking about, Ray Epps? I got people. So now this guy Samsel has come out and further made some accusations that conflicted with the initial statement from Ray Epps and him. Sounds like, and maybe he's getting mad because he's sitting in jail rotting and the Bigfoot is running around loose.
Now Samsel, arrested on January 30th, 2021, has been behind bars ever since. Prosecutors said that Samsel does have a criminal history, and that justified his pretrial detention. That doesn't really matter. There were other people that also didn't have any criminal history.
True.
The government also maintains that Samsel was on parole. He says he was on probation. Now, Samsel is in custody at the Metro Detention Center in Brooklyn. Apparently, that facility houses extremely dangerous, violent, and escape-prone inmates. And Julie acknowledges. She says, considering his record and his public silence on the matter over the past 2 years, Samson's new claims about what Epps said to him does warrant some skepticism, but a closer look at the court docket shows how the DOJ is intentionally delaying Samson's trial, because maybe we want to talk about this stuff at trial. Maybe Ray Epps gets another subpoena that he has to dodge during the trial. And maybe the DOJ is delaying because they don't want this to come out at all, because a trial forces some accountability. You get to call witnesses. We have the confrontation clause in this country. Amazing. And so presumably they don't want the public to learn more about Epps's involvement.
Now, isn't that ironic? You mean to tell me that this young man been in prison all that time and they won't let him bring in Ray Epps to actually do a trial because, you know, like they were saying, it might just expose some things. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Bigfoot thought he was free. And now it appears that the tides have turned, so you never know what the Bigfoot might do under stress. If he gets captured and he feels threatened, he might come out and just say, that's right, they told me to go out of the Capitol. Who told you to do that? All of them. Nancy Pelosi and everybody told me to go out of the Capitol. So they've been delaying this, and it appears that there might just be a motive, but now all of a sudden they're deciding to go after the Bigfoot. Let's go ahead and see what they told this young man, because it sounds like the DOJ has been protecting the Bigfoot, and we're going to see that the FBI has been doing that too. Took him off of the most wanted list, y'all. Made him disappear. But not all those grandmothers. They had to go down.
Samson said prosecutors are protecting him like crazy.
Oh,
Samson's case file seems to support that view. Prosecutors did not indict Samson until 7 months after his arrest. Violation of federal law requires the government to file charges within 30 days. Samson said during that time, the government tried to coerce him. They tried to get him to say Epps did not instigate any misconduct. And they wanted him to say that Joseph Biggs, a Proud Boys leader who was recently convicted of seditious conspiracy in a nuts trial that we covered, was carrying a gun even though he was not. Biden's DOJ charged Samson 7 counts, including multiple assaults. He's been transported to 16 different prisons, attacked by DC guards, also requiring medical attention due to his injuries.
So now we know what the Bigfoot actually said, at least alleged. The Samson kid, he said that, no, the Bigfoot whispered something totally different in my ear. And he brings up a very good point, that it's been all of this time, he's been sitting in the big house, and the DOJ has tried to get him to say something different about the Bigfoot's involvement. Now, why would they want that? I thought they were looking for people who could fit every stereotype of the white nationalist, insurrectionist, Trump supporter that they could find. Everybody else got that label, but for some reason, the biggest dude with the biggest MAGA hat standing up there saying everything that they claim Trump suggested or told us, that guy has been running free. And then we find out that they tried to coerce this young man to say, oh, he had no involvement, he's good. I mean, oh, and by the way, the other guy who didn't have the gun, he had the gun. So it sounds like they're protecting the Bigfoot, and they were all trying to establish some type of narrative and pin it all on Trump. Could this be the FBI and the DOJ covering up for the Bigfoot? And could it be that that Bigfoot was planted in that crowd, perhaps by the FBI? That's why they don't want to bring him in. So let's go ahead and see what the FBI had to say a couple days ago when Raggedy Ray was up there testifying.
You have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters inside the Capitol on January the 6th, prior to the doors being open?
I want to be
Again, I have to be very careful.
It should be a no. Can you not tell the American people no? We did not have confidential human sources dressed as Trump supporters positioned inside the Capitol.
Please don't distract here, because we're focusing on those who were there in an undercover capacity on January 6th. How many were there?
Again, I'm not sure that I can give you that number as I sit here.
What?
I'm not sure there were undercover agents on scene.
I find that kind of a remarkable statement, Director. At this point, you don't know whether there were undercover federal agents, FBI agents, in the crowd or in the Capitol on January 6th.
I say that because I want to be very careful. There have been a number of court filings related to some of these topics, and I want to make sure that I stick within what's in.
You want to make sure that you don't get brought in on some charges for perjuring yourself, because, see, remember, you was offended when Clay was asking about the FBI agents in the crowd or inside the Capitol before the doors were open. You was offended by that. And the answer should have been no. See, when you can't say no, then that means it's yes. Same thing when Ted Cruz was asking that FBI director about how many folks from the FBI or secret agents was in that audience that might have either participated, committed some violence, encouraged some violence. And every time she was saying, I can't answer that. What you did is you answered it. Every time you said, I can't answer that, because it should be no. There's no reason you should have had FBI agents posted up dressed like Trump supporters unless you anticipated the Trump supporters being either encouraged to breach into the Capitol, forced into it, or whatever. But you had to make sure you had some folks in there to guide them, perhaps make sure, just in case, we don't catch enough of Trump supporters with their gear on, we have our own people planted in there. That seems real shady. And there he is talking about, I want to be careful now before I say something like that, because you want to be careful because you don't want to incriminate yourself, Raggedy Ray. But see, here's my thing. Ray should have known how many people is in there. When these directors come up here to Congress and play dumb about details, it burns me up. You mean to tell me you're the director and you're talking about, I want to be sure I know the answer. I don't know. You should know. Nothing should happen without you either signing off on it or knowing about it. Because if they planted these people in there on their own, Raggedy Ray should be mad. But instead, I just want to be careful, this and this and that. Heads should roll if they went rogue and said, you know what, let's go ahead and launch a federation right here. Okay, we're all going in, we're going to set this thing up. And if they did that on their own, then Ray should be upset. Ray knew. And he still does know, and he tried to downplay it. But now look what's happening, y'all.
According to the Post-Millennial, Ray Epps' lawsuit against Fox News reveals he's being criminally charged by the Department of Justice 2.5 years after the January 6th riot. Interesting. Let's read. Details of Ray Epps' civil complaint against Fox News reveal that he is being criminally charged by the DOJ almost 3 years after the fact. Finally, in May of 2023, the Department of Justice notified Epps that they would seek to charge him criminally for the events of January 6th, 2.5 years later. The relentless attacks of Fox and Mr. Carlson, resulting in political pressure, likely resulted in the criminal charges. The complaint reads, okay, so talking about what the guy did on camera is a problem? This is called reporting.
I'm coming, Bigfoot. Hold up. Before you go into the Capitol. Wait, hold on. Put me in the key of -7. Wait a minute. All right, okay, all right. Am I in the key of the circumference of pi? Okay, wait, all right. Raggedy Ray, also known as the Bigfoot, is being indicted. He's mad and I don't care. Thank you. I'll be playing here all week. So y'all hear that? The Bigfoot's upset. He's saying that just by recognizing his actions and the obvious that he was saying all kind of stuff that falls right into the description of an insurrectionist based on what the Democrats and the media have been saying, and yet nothing's happening to him, which should make one question, why is that guy still running around? But just by acknowledging that and asking some questions, he's upset. Now, do you really think that the DOJ is charging him because they really believe that this guy was violent and he was an insurrectionist? They're charging him because they have to. The pressure is on them. How are they going to still maintain their whole facade of there's not a two-tier justice system, we do not discriminate against? How are they going to do that? Especially with the elections coming up and all of us are losing faith in the FBI and saying, well, we've been lost it. But we're saying, you know what? People like the Bigfoot right there is still running around and y'all can't explain it. Every time they come up to Congress and they ask them this, they don't have an explanation, or they just hit you with the sources and methods, ongoing investigation, I cannot comment on it, stuff like that. See, they're bringing charges because they're saying, you know what, man, the pressure's on us. We already taking heat. We got whistleblowers out the wazoo telling on us about us setting up citizens. So we got to do something. So bring in the Bigfoot. Let's charge him. But I question, are they going to really charge him? Or is he going to get the Hunter Biden charge? Is he going to get the real insurrectionist charge like all the rest of the folks who's still rotting in jail? Is he going to get that type of charges? Or is he going to get the slap on the wrist charges just so they can say, look, we're doing stuff? I mean, no respecter of person. While the Bigfoot gets the slap on the wrist and goes right back out into the forest somewhere. That's my question. Just so they can say, look, now when we go after all the rest of these folks, y'all can't say we ain't do nothing. But you best believe they're not going to give the Bigfoot the big hammer. If they give the Bigfoot the big hammer, they run the risk of the Bigfoot screaming out about really his involvement. That's what they got to be careful of. They like, Ray, look, Ray, we got to do this, okay? You're going to have to take one for the team. Now, trust me, we're going to get you some book deals. Hopefully you better sue Fox and get some money out this. We'll set you straight, but we got to make this look. We got to make it look like we're serious about fighting against the insurrectionists. Because how would it look to have this guy? He's put on a platter out there. They could have had his face all over the place. I look at this is the face of white nationalism. But they chose to cover up for him, which brings me to one more of his allies. So now that the Bigfoot's being charged, remember this from Jamie Raskin or Raspin. I call him Poodle on top of the head. I don't know, the white guy with a Jerry curl sitting on top of his head. So here's Poodle on top of the head back in the day, for some reason, defending the Bigfoot. I wonder if he's going to defend him now.
Mr. Epps was in front of the January 6th committee, and we were told that a transcript of his interview would be released, but it's never been released. And I wondered, was he sworn
None
in?
of the transcripts have been released, so you don't need a conspiracy theory about that. We haven't released any of
Were
them.
you present when he was interviewed? That would give me
No,
some...
I was not. I was not. We've done more than 1,000 interviews. You guys are trying to make this poor schmuck who showed up to your protest into something a lot bigger than he is.
What? Simmer down, Poodle up top. Do you hear him? Now, soon as this guy started defending him and that rhino, Adam Sheenless, any of those folks, 60 Minutes, any of the networks, any of the magazines, any of these people who's defending this dude, that lets you know that dude is on their squad. Now, here is Poodle up top trying to say, well, look here, man. Why don't y'all give this dude a break? He's on your squad. Stop going after him. The question is, why aren't you going after him, Raskin? See, that's the real question. So now you want to try to make it seem like for some reason we just turned on our own. But the question is, was he one of us? Because see, y'all aren't treating him like he's one of us. That's my question.
Okay, he's just trying to survive, and he's on your side. You don't have many voters left. You might want to try to hang on to them without demonizing and vilifying your own people.
How obvious is this that this bum is trying to defend this dude? He's just trying to survive. Wait a minute. That sounds just like all of the folks that y'all have arrested or charged for something stupid, the trespassing. They're still sitting in prison. Lives ruined financially, all of that stuff, and they're trying to just survive. And yet here he is talking about big old poor Ray Epps like we were supposed to have sympathy for him. See, it's not that we are sitting back saying Ray Epps needs to be charged just for charge sake. No. We're saying that because based on how much these folks been running around for 2 years screaming bloody murder over J6 and throwing everybody else in jail. And then y'all get one handed to y'all on a platter who's caught on audio and video saying go into the Capitol, all of that stuff. That's where our problems are. And for some reason, y'all have no interest in this dude. And now all of a sudden you're talking about take it easy on the guy. He's just trying to survive. That lets me know he's one of your guys. You're trying to guilt us into not questioning this dude. The first thing I thought of when y'all didn't charge him is he's one of y'all guys. But you're talking about one of your guys.
They do it to family, they do it to friends, they do it to their own associates and employees. And now you guys are doing it to this poor Ray Epps. Leave that guy alone, whoever he is.
Leave that guy alone. Y'all hear Poodle up top. I wonder if he still feels that way because see, he said leave that guy alone. Now the Bigfoot is, I guess, supposed to be charged. Now I don't think that they're gonna, hit him with something heavy. Most likely they'll give him a slap on the wrist. And that also will let us know if he's one of them, depending on the charges that they give him. But you see what these folks were willing to do, and they were defending this guy, and it couldn't be more obvious based on Poodle up top's reaction to them questioning this guy, Ray Epps. In fact, you would think he would be like, yeah, good. Let's all go after that guy. Because he's also one of these white nationalist insurrectionists too. Let's go after him because we could go ahead and make him the poster child. But Raskin said, leave that poor guy alone. He's just trying to survive. Well, let's see how he survived these charges that's about to get dropped on him. Now, if you haven't seen my other video, because it's cool that the Bigfoot's getting charged, even though we're going to see how that works out. But whatever happened to the mysterious pipe bomber, and also that mysterious lady in the window? I did a video on it. Please click the video in the box as this video ends, and you can go straight to that and watch my theory on who possibly could be the mysterious woman in the window. All right. God bless y'all. God bless America. They should put that Bigfoot on tour so we can go and look, because I ain't never seen a real Yeti in person. Yeah, put him in a cell so we can all walk up and say, wow, mommy, look at the Bigfoot. You think he like ice cream? Like Joe Biden. So anyway, God bless y'all. God bless America. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care. And in the Capitol. hit that like button, share my videos. Please make sure you subscribe. Make sure your notification buttons are turned on to all. Subscribe to my alternative channel just in case YouTube give me the slip or something. You'll know how to find me. Don't forget to check me out with all the podcasts and follow me on Rumble and the Jungle. All the links are listed below. If you want to donate to my channel, feel free. Those links are below as well.